We're live. Welcome back to Equal Time. There is a lot of soccer going on this summer, so we are dense with opportunities to talk to some players and talk to people affiliated with growing the game in Minnesota. We're lucky to meet some brand new honorary Minnesotans who are playing for Minnesota Aurora this summer. And I need to welcome Addy Symonds and Kelsey Kaufusi. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Tell us where you are right now.
We are in Missouri. We just got here just like 5 minutes ago. Just pulled in.
Right on. Congrats on the clean sheet. We watched it last night. There were some fans at the Blackheart Bar where I work. We were watching the game, which was fun to see it. And you had a clean sheet, which is great. Obviously, it could have been even more goals. But for you two, where you play on the field, maybe the clean sheet is more important. Just talk about your thoughts in the game and finally getting that first win.
Obviously, we're super excited to get the clean sheet and the first franchise win. Definitely could have put more on the board, probably some more goals. But honestly, overall, felt pretty happy with our performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it goes to show a lot about our team. I know that I think Call Valley's had some wins, and so it felt good to get some wins for ourselves. And, yeah, put our names out there, show the team who we are, and keep going, score more goals, and not letting any more in.
Yeah. What do you think you did well? I mean, the shutout says it, but I mean, in terms of, what the team did well, it's still early. I mean, you had some new players come in and play because some not traveling with you. So what do you think went well? Because like we said, it really could have been, could have been more goals.
I think our forwards were super dangerous. They got behind their back line a lot and were able to take people on 1v1 super well. I also think the back line did a really good job of stepping to those first balls, just winning it out of the air. And I think a lot of games are decided just on like 50-50s and challenges. And I think our team won the majority of those, which ended up in a good result for us.
I agree with that. We also, over this past week, we've been working a lot on our press, on the forwards press, and I think that made a huge difference in this game. We were able to put a lot of pressure on them early and get a lot of opportunities in the first half. So I think that helped a lot as well.
Yeah, Ka did not threaten very much. Like they did not get into the Aurora fight like third a lot, so I think, yeah, you could see that in the simplicity of it, just that they were under pressure and they had a hard time connecting too many passes through. Take me back. We have to talk about the home opener. It was historic. It was so fun. It was stressful for me, trying to be a pre-professional media content maker, trying to make sure we could do stuff, but it was really fun. We had, I'm doing content with former NWSL pro Danny Foxhoven, which just shows how excited people are to be connected to this team. So I'm just wondering, for you as players, you knew there'd be a lot of fans, but when you're actually there, like, lining up and you experience it, just what went through your head? What emotions did you feel? What are your biggest memories from that opener?
It obviously was just an incredible experience. I loved every second of it. Like the first time they all cheered, it was kind of like, whoa, there's a lot of people here. But overall, I think our team did really good at being able to calm down even with the fans, because I think that was the first time we've played in front of that many people, for sure, all of us. So I think we did a pretty good job, but obviously the tie was kind of unsatisfying. But like it was awesome to do the autograph alley after. It was so fun to meet the community and be a part of it. So I loved it. It was a great memory.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's something you can't really describe until you've been in the atmosphere, and I think it definitely exceeded my expectations. It was definitely a lot louder than I expected to. Like, we were all trying to talk to each other on the field, and we couldn't hear anyone because it was just so loud, which says a lot about how much support this team has, which we're super grateful for, and it's been really fun to be a part of. So I'm excited for more home games to play under that atmosphere. It was awesome.
The autograph alley was really cute to see pictures of. I didn't see it in person, but I saw a lot of posts on social about it, and it was just cool to see the awe, in the young kids' faces, especially them. I mean, I know there are other people, but had you ever given autographs before in college? Has it happened to you?
Like once I had someone ask, but it's not very often. It was like two little girls, but like nothing like that for sure.
Yeah, right. Same. And they can probably tell because my autographs were looking rough. Not my best work. So maybe by
Right.
then will get better.
People don't sign their name that much anymore. Yeah, that would be tough. Like I have Rose Lavelle's autograph tattooed on my leg, and I did think right before she was gonna do it, I was like, I mean, I have no idea what it looks like. Well, I don't know what her autograph. Yeah, luckily she's had some practice, so it looks good.
She's had some practice.
What were the biggest games you played in before that, in terms of like either intensity or the crowd size or just stakes?
The biggest crowd we played for was when we played BYU. When we were playing for Utah State and we played BYU, that was a big crowd. They always have a lot of people, plus there's an in-state game, and so a lot of people from both sides came, and that was probably the closest thing we've come to this. It was crazy. It was really fun though.
Yeah, Utah has. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about Utah later because it's actually dense. With D1 programs, like there would be some fun rivalries for sure. We'll get into it. I'm wondering how. So you two both came. You played for Utah State, obviously. Go Aggies! Shout out to the Aggies out there watching. But how did you? We had one of our coaches was in Utah for a while, or actually maybe two are with the keeper coach maybe. So I'm wondering, was it a connection from them seeing you during college, or how did you actually get connected to Aurora?
So Jenny is kind of how we had the connection. One of our coaches at Utah State coached with her, and so that's kind of where the connection came. And then they kind of sent film, and then we then committed after that, after some talking to Jenny. So yeah, kind of through that. I didn't know Cassie before. Like I knew of her at Slick, but I never had met her before until up here though.
So where had you played? Had you played in other summer leagues before? And what did you, just saying, oh, come to Minnesota, what were your thoughts? Had you played before? And then, what were your thoughts about actually coming to Minnesota?
So I had trained with the WPSL league last summer. I was coming back from injury, and it just worked out. It was right where I was, like by my hometown and stuff. So I had played in that, and then when we were talking to one of our assistant coaches about coming out here, he kind of explained all the leagues and where this lined up, and it just seemed like a really good opportunity, especially since I think we're both looking to play pro if that's an opportunity. And so this kind of helps get our names out there with a really high league and getting prepared for fall as well.
Yeah. Had you been to Minnesota before? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, neither of us had ever been to Minnesota, so it's kind of random that we ended up out here. But
I'm curious, for people always have misconceptions because, it's like we make jokes about Iowa. And then I remember the first time I really was in Iowa, I was like, oh, it looks a lot like Minnesota, but like I don't know what I would picture Utah as, maybe like deserty, mountainy, but I haven't been in Utah more than like a pass through. So what did you expect it to be like? I mean, you came at a good time.
I think it's definitely been like cool. I mean, I haven't lived in a really like city, I guess, before. And so that's been fun, but it's definitely a lot more flat than I expected because we are used to all the mountains and stuff. And then it's fun to hear the Minnesotan accent. I haven't really heard that as much firsthand, and so it's definitely been fun. I mean, the first few days were a little scary because we had tornado watches and we've never experienced that before. But yeah, but it's been good. I mean, I've really liked it so far. It's been really fun.
Yeah, we get all the weather. We get all of it. Tornadoes, blizzards, we barely get an earthquake every like 20 years, but little one. But yeah, I'm curious. So yeah, you have been, I mean, that would be way different living in, I mean, both like, being close to Salt Lake City, it's like, it's not like that is a city, but like it is a bigger scale, maybe being in Minneapolis. Like, what's it been like player housing? I know you were grouped up with a few other players, right? So who are you, what's the mix of players you guys are grouped up with?
Okay, so we live with the three triplets, the Rapp triplets, and then we live with Cha and Mayu. So it's been kind of cool to get to know their culture a little bit. We even had Cha cook us some Korean food. Okay. So it's been fun to get to know them. And the house is way nice. So it's been fun to get to know the team though. I really do like who we're living with, and the Raps are kind of new, so we're still getting to know them. But yeah. Is there any way you can tell them apart?
I
Yes, I can.
You can?
The two of them look really similar, but I think we've got it down now.
Yeah. Do they play on different parts of the field? Does that help because they're kind of maybe doing different stuff in training? I don't know.
Yeah, they do. They play different positions, which helps. But once you get to know them, they're all different. They're all special. They're just awesome.
Don't patronize us multiples. I'm a twin too. No, it's exciting. And I mean, honestly, it's a real thing. I mean, like you two having chemistry on the field because you play in college. I mean, having sisters is like, theoretically they have, they can have a lot of connectivity on the field together. So that'll be fun when we first see that. And what's your favorite part of Minnesota so far? It hasn't really been warm enough to go swimming. I mean, it's not really lake time, but you could. Have you?
We have been to a lake once. One of the girls on our team is living in a lake house this summer with her family, and so we went down there this last Sunday. So that was our first lake day, but it wasn't super warm. So we just kind of rode on the boat. We didn't really do much more than that.
Yeah, well, just wait. Minnesota will get very humid and very hot, and more than people I think expect. Is Utah pretty dry? You must not get that humid over there.
Yeah, it's pretty dry. It gets pretty hot still, but not humid.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You'll see. It'll be a swamp sometime this summer for you guys, but we'll see. So I take a quick break to read an ad for our sponsor, Pence Homes. This week's episode brought to you by Pence Homes. Pence Homes is a real estate team with Keller Williams, and Matt personally has experience working with Nate and Lydia when he sold and bought his home. Nate has been a supporter of the local soccer community, including as an owner of Minnesota Aurora. Matt also enjoyed working with one of their preferred lenders, Angie Shearer and Luminate Financing. If you have house questions, whether selling, buying, need a furnace or flooring person, shoot them a message at pencehomes.com. Shout out to Pence Homes. So how did you both end up at Utah State? Obviously, like I said, I mean, you're from Utah, but there are a lot of programs there. And so just what was your path to landing there?
I think mine was just getting seen at tournaments and showcases sort of thing. I was seen at National League, and then the coach at the time reached out to me and I went on a visit, and it was just crazy. Recruiting is rough, if I'm being honest. It's a rough process, but I went on a visit.
You need to elaborate on the crazy, because I could tell there's something behind that,
It's just rough because it's hard when there's rules where you can't just talk when they can't reach out to you. And so I had been offered by them, and my sophomore year when I went on a visit, and then they're you have to respond to us in the next couple weeks. And so but they didn't tell me any amount, and so I was trying to figure out all that stuff and still trying to talk to other schools. And then the whole summer went by, and then they actually took away the offer because they were out of money. And so I was hey, this is perfect, just what I wanted. And then at that point I realized I really did want to go there anyways. And so then I ended up going to another showcase or league, and they saw me and they're okay, we have money and we want you again. So ended up that way, but it was just crazy and lots of emotions. Yeah. But we ended up here, so it worked out.
So up to my senior year, I was actually committed to Northern Arizona. And Utah State had seen me at a showcase while I was committed. And so when they did reach out, I had already verbally committed, so I didn't really talk to them very much. But then after my last high school game, the high school coach on the other team just advocated for me. And Utah State had just lost 2 center backs to missions, LDS missions. So they needed a center back really bad. And so when they first started talking to me, they told me that they didn't really have money, but then they had some money open up. So, and my now husband was already going there on the track team. So I was trying to get there anyway because I was dating him at the time. So it ended up working out for me anyway. And now I'm at Utah State and love it there. But Logan's an awesome city. I love it there.
Yeah, I'm going to close the door for these dogs. But I was going to ask about, I mean, that's, assumptions people make about Utah, but I was going to ask about Utah State if there is it's because it's the biggest public school too. So I figure there must be a population of Mormon students, right? Is it a big part of the campus, or is it just, some because you're in Salt Lake?
I'd say it's a good amount. I mean, on our team, we have about half and half. And I would say the majority of people at Utah State, because it is in Utah, are. But there's everything there still, though, like university still, which has been fun.
Less by the book Mormon as, say, a BYU is, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're very by the book Mormon, yeah. So talk about Logan, Utah, because that's where Utah State is, right? So you're north of Salt Lake City. Tell us about it. I mean, it must be really a college town.
Yeah, it is. The majority of the population, I would say, is college students. And then like the other like little part is like older kind of people that are retired. So like it's just fully a college town. It's grown a lot over the last couple of years. It used to like not be like very big, but now we're starting to get like a Costco. We're starting to get the bigger stores. We're still waiting on a Target. We're hoping to get those one time, but I love it.
Small. It's small. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great college town. It's been fun. The campus is pretty small, so you're able to walk through it, which is way nice. But yeah, it's way nice.
Yeah, I would say it's really fun. It's been nice to have like friends that are from there, because they can kind of show you the things to do as well. Like not the typical, just off the path stuff. So it's been fun. Yeah, it's fun finding those little hidden gems.
You have to be creative. It's a cool. I went to a school, University of Minnesota Morris. Go Cougars in Morris, Minnesota. If you haven't heard of it, there's no reason you would have. It's 5,000 people, so it is much smaller than Logan, Utah. Costco and Target, not even in sight. So yeah, no, you're very creative. You do a lot of extracurriculars too. Like, I don't know you guys are so busy. It's not like you can join a bunch of clubs, but you kind of get engaged in the campus more maybe.
Yeah.
Did either of you play another sport? Like, if you were to play a sport besides soccer, what would you be playing?
In high school, I played basketball and ran track up to my senior year. If I had to pick a different sport, I would have probably gone with track. I did well in track, and I enjoyed it, but not nearly as much as I enjoyed soccer. It was more just fun little hobby. So I probably would have picked that. I wasn't good enough at basketball. I was good at the defensive end of basketball, but not the shooting. So I don't think I could have done that one.
Yeah, I would think maybe volleyball. I'm like 5'7", so I'm not too short, but not super tall, maybe a libero. But I also think it'd be cool to do gymnastics, because I can do absolutely zero tricks. So I think it'd just be cool to be able to do some flips. I don't know.
You'd be doing the floor routine. You do the floor routine.
Exactly. Sand volleyball is huge at Utah State. Yeah. Don't really know why, but our team loves it. We play it all the time.
Oh, wow.
We're all pretty good at volleyball too now.
Okay. Some Top Gun scenes going on with, but yeah,
exactly.
Genderman. That's what was your favorite? So you guys had a pretty good year last year, Utah State. You beat, and I want to know which win that meant the most. Like which was the biggest win for you? Because you beat a ranked BYU team, which is tight. You beat Colorado State in the conference tournament, so you advanced in that. So, or was it another one? Because I know you play other in-state rivals too. Which one means the most?
Definitely BYU.
It had to be BYU.
Absolutely. Because we never beat them in our school history before, and I think a lot of people kind of expected us to get a smackdown. Yeah. So that was the coolest thing ever, and to be in double overtime was the coolest thing. It was just a memorable game with so many people there too. It was just the best.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. No, are they seeing? They're the most visible nationally for colleges, broadly as a college in Utah. Are they seen as like the rich kids too? Are they the rich school to you guys? Because you're or is it more just that they've been successful as a team?
I think it has a lot to do with it. We all grew up going to the BYU camps, and I think a lot of us had maybe at some point talked to the coaches there, and so it's kind of just that. All the girls, it's just one of those things where you just I just want to beat them so bad.
I love it. Yeah. Well, that's what makes it fun. The Minnesota's been unique because we only have one D1 team. So it's, it's about Wisconsin, it's about Iowa and stuff, but it's cool. Now St. Thomas has become D1 and you have a couple teammates from there, Abby Brantner and Abby Groutman too. But so it's fun to see because they'll develop a little rivalry too as they go on. What's the best stadium you've played in? Like, and it could be TCO, although it's it's the Viking stadium, but what's the best stadium you played in? Because you might have some sweet like mountain views in your conference out there.
Yeah, BYU's field is actually way nice too. That one's a really fun one to play on, but I loved playing at TCO this last time. It was probably one of my favorite. Just the ball moves really fast, and so it's way fun to play on. And just being in front of that many people is way fun too. So that's probably my favorite, is probably TCO. But
I like TCO. I also played in the RSL, the Real Salt Lake Stadium for state one time, so that was really cool.
That's unbelievable. That's a sweet mountain backdrop, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't really see it. It kind of like covers it a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of more. It kind of is a dome, so like you can't quite see out of it. But the field felt ginormous in high school.
Yeah, it did.
Oh yeah, it would feel crazy now. I mean, it's one of the older MLS stadiums, but it holds up. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it feels cool in there. I bet. Yeah. Let's do. Okay, now we'll do some quick hits. I'm not upsetting Nicole Lukic, not once. I'm not taking her players' time too much, but I want to get a couple quick hits for each of you about both Aurora and also some early hits in soccer. So, do you remember the name of your first soccer team you were ever on?
My first competitive one ever was actually called Synergy.
Okay.
It was an independent team. It was fun. But I don't know about like the little rec team I played on. About that.
I know one was Red Rockets. I know I had one when I was like 4. I can't remember the name of that one, but when I was probably like 5 or 6, I think it was Red Rockets.
Nice. That's why I asked. There's always random answers to that because either it might just be like, oh, we were like the blue team, or whatever, or it's like Synergy, which is like, what is that? Why? Yeah. I love it. Who in the Aurora locker room? We want to know a little bit more about the Aurora teammates because we're getting to know some of you, and I want to know who in the locker room is joking around the most. Who's the class clown?
Yeah.
Is it you guys?
Mariah or Rami, I would say.
Mariah or Rami?
Yeah. They're always making us laugh. Rami had us dying during the whole warm-up yesterday.
I know. I was telling her, I'm like, all my energy is gone by the time it's game because you've been making me laugh this whole time.
That's great. Who controls the music in the locker room?
Taylor.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's automatic. Does she just have the best taste? She knows what to do.
Yeah, we do have like a shared Spotify playlist that everyone can add music to, but she's always the one that's connecting. So she's been kind of in charge of that.
Yeah.
All right. So both of you mostly play. Actually, this would be a two-parter. One. Well, I want to know what's the biggest goal you've ever scored? Because if you guys play mostly defensively. But I know you would probably remember the goals you've scored. I'm curious, like, have you scored, and what's your favorite goal you've scored?
Mine's probably in high school. I've only scored one college goal, and it was during the spring, so it didn't really matter as much, But mine was in high school. I had a red card, so I couldn't play the first half, and so the second half I was able to come in and I scored both the goals that put us into the next round. So that was cool.
That's awesome. I have not scored in college. I've almost had a couple here, a couple times, but I'm gonna get one here. I'm determined now. But in high school I had one where it was like a breakaway off of a corner and my like forward was going with it. And because I'm pretty fast, I just sprinted up with her, and then like she shot it, and I got the rebound off of it, and so that was probably the best one because I sprinted like the whole field before. So it was cool.
I was never a very offensive player, so it's like the few I've scored, like I remember probably the 4 in my life I've scored. I asked Danny, my co-host, she scored like 57 goals in college at Portland State. And I asked Danny, I was like, do you know how many goals you scored? And she was like, no. Like, she had no idea. And I was like, a lot of strikers, I think, know the number. I've asked other people who haven't played for 10 years, and they're like, yeah, I scored 32 goals in college.
That's crazy.
So you don't, but see, you haven't scored as much because you guys don't get the service. So that's why I teed this up. I want to know if each of you got a chance to play striker, like say for the who would score more goals?
Definitely Kelsey.
Right away.
There's just not a chance.
Why? Just way better finishing? You're better at what is it?
Kelsey just gets on the ball really well, and also she could, if you hit a long ball, you know she's getting there. She will get on the end of that. She will just score. Absolutely.
All right. Aurora coaches working to get Kelsey upfield, working some tactics. That's great. Yeah. And speaking of the coaches, I'm intrigued by this because look, there's a lot of squad rotation. Sometimes you don't have players available. Which of your coaches could best step into play if you needed a coach? And if you have to claim neutrality, you can, but I'm curious.
It's hard because actually they're all really good. Like they all juggle, and it's just incredible.
That's the answer. That's
Okay.
You'll tell me. Look, I'm sorry, Equal Time listeners. We'll go when we cut off of live. You can tell me off because I don't want. Yeah, you don't have to. We don't got to.
We're not gonna pick sides, but they're all
pretty recent. They're all pretty recent to the game, though. I mean, like they actually. I think it's not partly a joke, but I mean, I would love to see them get to play.
Yeah, they're all really good. They all jump in, and it's just great. They do awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, cool. And for both of you, I know you said, I mean, what are your goals going forward? I know you said both of you are looking to play pro. You have years left at Utah State if you'd like to. So, for this summer going forward, like what for each of you, just what's your personal drive of accomplishment this summer? Like what you want to get out of playing for Aurora?
For me, kind of just getting just like my name out there is part of it. Just like creating connections with different coaches. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of seeing where it takes me kind of just from there and just work really hard. And then just over the summer, I just wanted to really get in an environment where I was playing a lot because it's really hard to get like good playing minutes in the summer. So I was trying to find somewhere that would give me a lot of playing time, and this was a really good option. So that's kind of why I came here. And so just to continue to get better every day, see where I could compete at a higher level. So that's kind of what my goals are.
Yeah, mine are similar. I think definitely exposure, getting the name out there, having people see us play, and then also trying to get better. I don't know. I think the summer is a time where like a lot of people condition and stuff to get ready for the fall, but I think the most useful thing is definitely game situations. And so getting a lot of game situations, and also like to do a league like this, you have to be pretty committed. And so the people here are very committed, and so you're just playing in an environment where everyone's at a high level and willing to work hard and do the rest. And so it's been really fun to just grow and get better as a player.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining because it's what we try to do with Equal Time too. It's just fun. We just want people we don't try and do like, reporting and like trying to get a scoop. We just want players and people in the game to get their story told because that's how people can become fans. If you're right here and this team is being displayed the way it is, like people catch on. That's why you see like every person in the soccer world wearing an Aurora hat, in their soccer podcast, or like when we were doing the pregame show for your game yesterday, Megan Rapinoe Snapchatted a picture of us doing it that her friend had it's like, what's happening here? What's going on? So I'd say you're definitely going to get exposure if that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, if she's watching, Megan, I met you at Red Iguana when I was like 8. Hey, how's it going?
She remembers. She's the type she remembers. If you met her again, she'd fake it really well to where you'd believe that she remembered.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take it.
We'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you to Utah State Aggies, and most importantly, 2 standouts for an Aurora team that's now topped the table in their division. So thank you so much, Kelsey and Addy, for joining.
Thank you for having us. It's been awesome.
Should be going anytime. Check out your WPSL